So today we are going to discuss securing the information system. You know what is information system and you know what is security. So how to secure the information system. So having thorough plans and approaches for dealing with IS security attacks and natural disaster is critical for effectively managing IS resources within organizations and your personal life. So in your daily life, and the security, as I told you, the data is very important, most important thing nowadays, because it is an asset. I keep repeating this word, asset. Data is an asset. So it means it is very critical, it is very important for the business, for the organization. And you have to save it. The security is equally important for that. If your data is secure, you can manage or you can make the use effectively. So you must have some plan and approaches, some techniques, tools to deal with this IS security attacks and the natural disasters. Sometimes the natural disasters play an important role for the business from any perspective, especially from the security point of view. Like we are experiencing nowadays COVID-19, it's a natural disaster, and how badly it affects the lives of the people and for the business as well. So we must have some plan, because in the past the world has not invested a lot in research or in medical field to deal with this the natural disaster or pandemic kind of thing. That's why we are facing problems nowadays. If in the past we have invested a lot in this area, maybe we could manage to invent a vaccine very quickly for that. Okay, so let's talk about, so we will discuss managing information system security. This. Okay, so we will discuss about the what is information system security. So information system security refers to precautions taken to keep all aspects of information systems, for example, all hardware, software, network equipment, and data, safe from destruction, manipulation, or unauthorized access or use. I think you are all familiar with this type of security. We must have some precautions measurement to save all hardware, software, network, equipment, data, and safe from destruction, manipulation, or unauthorized access. So can you tell me how you can, what are the ways as a manager, what could you do to save all these hardware, softwares? What kind of strategy would you adopt?
Make backups.
Make backups, yes, this is one of the strategy. What else?
Doing tests on the software.
Doing tests on software.
If there is any bugs on the system.
Okay. Sometimes, natural disasters can play a role.
Yeah, like earthquakes can destruct buildings, and
yes,
the hardware will be affected.
Yes, very good. What else? Tell me the different disasters, natural disasters.
Floods, like tsunami and so like this.
Yes.
Rain.
Sandstorm can come. A lot of rain,
Yes.
floods, snow. In some countries, snow is, is very, in Canada especially, these kind of areas, sometimes they have a snowstorm. And here in Saudi Arabia, sandstorm in some part is sometimes become very critical. If you let the door open of your lab, so you cannot go inside. There is a chance that machines can stop working. So these are the natural disasters, and some other, the hackers, crackers, unauthorization, these kind of issues was always there. So you need some planning for this. You need some precautions. You need some concrete steps to save them. Like in our labs, you cannot enter into the lab without authorization. There is a basma there. There is a one thumb recognition. Okay. There are some password protected mechanisms for the data centers, for network rooms, and even you're providing them the room temperature. The air condition must be there. Okay. So, and for the software like Windows, we have antiviruses, we have firewalls. You can install some security softwares, and you must have some mechanism for that. So now you guys know what is information system security. Either it is physical or it is online, or maybe in any other form. You have to save the information system, your data, your hardware, your software, everything. Is that clear, guys?
Yes, clear.
Okay, moving to the next slide. So everyone who uses an information system knows that disaster can happen to store data or to entire systems. So yes, disaster can come, then can destroy the whole system, or maybe just a data. Okay. Some disasters are unintentional, such as accident caused by power outages. The fire broke there. Inexperienced computer users. People don't know how to enter them. Or mistakes while others are deliberate, and some are doing it by themselves. Okay, caused on purpose by malicious crackers. You know crackers, it is a form of hackers, and it is intelligent one, and can disrupt the system or can steal the information. Okay. So first we will discuss the primary threats to the security information systems include the following. The natural disasters, as we discussed, power outages, hurricanes, floods, earthquakes, sandstorm, snowstorm, a lot of rain, a lot of snow, a lot of, the hot weather sometimes play a role. Accidents, inexperienced or careless computer operators, or cats walking across the keyboard. It means if you have a cat, so you can understand this proverb. The cats are very, kind of a naughty. They create a mess around you. Okay, so they are giving as an example here. So if you give your system to inexperienced user, a new person who don't know anything about the system, so there is a chance that he will behave like a cat walking across the keyboard. Did you understand this?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm pressing
Sorry?
incoherent things.
I cannot hear you well. What are you saying? Is that clear, guys?
Yes, clear, Professor.
Okay. Employees and consultant, people within organization who have access to electronic data. they can be threat. How they could be threat? Employees and consultant. They are saying they could be threat to the information system.
People who can access critical information.
Yes, there is a chance maybe they can steal, they can destroy.
Yeah.
Maybe one person from other department, he's working in your department as a consultant, so he has access, so he can do damage to the data, can steal the data, can steal information, can destroy or can leak any information. So that even they say employees from the same department can be a threat. So that's why, you know, if you have a system, so the privilege is not given to all employees. Only few people can access that data. There is a reason for that. So links to outside business contacts. Yes, whenever there is a link outside the department, there is always a threat. Electronic data can be at risk when it travels between or among business affiliates as part of doing business. For example, our university or college is sharing a data with another college of another university. Our university is sharing data with Aramco. Our university is sharing data with SABIC. Our university is sharing data with the other one, and we need data from them. So this exchange between the two different independent entities would always pose a threat. Maybe the data can be leaked, the data can be corrupted, data can be stolen. So anything can happen. So there is a risk. Outsider hackers, and you know, there is no virus in your system, in your laptop, because you are using this. But when you connect it with outside the world, then there is a big threat. The virus can attack, the virus can come in your computer. So it's normal. So links to the outside business contacts always pose a risk or a threat. Outsiders, hackers and crackers who penetrate networks, and the enemies are always there, competitors are always there. So hackers and crackers, these are the people with a negative minded. They always try to harm, they always try to damage the reputation of the organization. So they try to snoop, they try to spy to cause damage. They try to penetrate inside the network. They want to get the access, they want to get the grant or access to the system. Is that clear, guys? These are the different types of the threats to the information system. Is it clear, guys?
Yeah, it's just like.
So if you see this figure, so you can see this is your computer right in the middle, and these are all in circle. You can see the different images can pose a threat or can damage your computer. It can be an accidental natural disaster, outside intruder, the hacker or cracker, email attachment with viruses, links to outside the business, okay, and employees and consultant within the organization can also pose a threat. So your system, your information system have several categories of threats. So securing against these threats must consider these primary goals. So how you can secure these? So you must have some goals. The first one is availability. This is very important, ensuring that the real user can access the system 24/7. System must be available 24/7. Because if your system is not available, there is a chance that the cracker or hacker can penetrate in that with the wrong identity, identity theft. So you have to ensure that your system must be available to all the user. This is your primary goal. Integrity. Integrity means preventing unauthorized manipulations of data and systems. No unauthorized person can enter your system. You must ensure that only the people with the granted privileges can enter into the system. With the correct username and password, the user can enter into the system. This is called integrity. So you must ensure the integrity of your information system. Confidentiality. Confidentiality. Keep it confidential. Protect data from unauthorized access. So your data must be confidential. You don't want to share it as a secret kind of thing, private kind of thing. So you have to ensure that the data of your information system is protected from the unauthorized access. Even within the organization, the people who do not have authorization cannot reach to that data, cannot see that data. And then accountability, ensuring that actions can be traced. If something has happened wrong, so there must be accountability. Who did wrong, why it, how it. So you can keep the track of all the actions. Testing, accountability is just like a testing, checking. Is that clear, guys? These are the goals that if you achieve these goals in your information system, so you can save your system from threats. Is that clear, guys?
Yes.
Okay. So now let's talk about the information security process. So information system security involves 4 main tasks. The first one is assessing the risk. Second one is developing a security strategy, implementing controls and training, and monitoring security. Okay, I give you one task. You are the manager of one organization. So you have one, information system. So how you could secure the system? Can you give me any example by following these steps? You are following these 4 steps. So can you give me any real example as a manager? Can you think? There is a real problem. For example, we can say that what could we say that there is let's say there is one database. Okay, database of student grades, and we want to secure it. So what could you do as a manager? By following these steps. Any student?
For example, updating the firewall.
Sorry? The first, tell me about step by step, assessing the risk. As a manager, what would you do? You have the database file, the grades. Okay, very first thing, assessing the risk. Okay, tell me what is risk first?
Danger.
Risk. It is a danger, it is kind of negative thing, but it is a problem.
It's a probability, more like.
It is a problem in future. Got it? Future problem. The problem that you are going to face in coming days is called risk. Then there is a complete science to manage this risk, to mitigate risk, to develop the risk, to what is the solution for that. But right now, it says assessing risk. It means the problem that you are going to face in coming days. Can you tell me what kind of problem you can face for database to save the database file? Come on, guys. There is database file and you want to save it. You want to save it. So how to secure that file? So first step is assessing risk. What are the problems that you can face in coming days for that?
Maybe data loss.
Maybe data loss. Yes, very good.
The file getting
File can be corrupted.
yeah,
Can be stolen.
maybe.
Yes. So these are the risk. Now in step 1, you are assessing this. These are the problems that we can face. Okay, you identified this. Now move to the step 2. Developing a security strategy. Now you need a strategy, you need a plan. What would you do to solve these problems that you have discussed with me? Let's say the loss of data. Data can be lost. So what would be the strategy?
Well, I can make clones or backups for the
Yes.
files.
Very good. So this is your strategy. Now
Yeah,
move to
duplication.
Yeah. So we are making a plan right now. Okay. Now number 3 is implementing controls and training. So what would you do here? You will execute your strategy, like as you said, the clones. You are going to make clones, the backup. Okay. You will create here, and also training. Training to whom? As a manager, you will provide the training to the technical staff, the people, the staff, who will going to use this, who
Yes.
they will implement this. Okay.
Okay.
So in step 3, we have implemented the strategy that we have developed in step 2, and we will provide the training to the people. Okay.
Okay.
And step 4,
Monitoring. It's like
Now you
checking what's the outcomes and
Yeah.
is it working or not.
it is working or not. If it is not working, so you will update. If it is not working, what would you do?
Look for more solutions or
I mean, you will go to the previous steps.
yeah, I'll do the same procedures.
The same procedures. Maybe you need to develop a new strategy. You will say, okay, no, we will not make clones. We will use some other strategy, like some external hardware. Okay. Then you will update all your steps. So this is you will work in a kind of a cycle here. Okay. So this is ongoing process that requires frequent review and updates as threats evolve, because your threats changes with the passage of time. Okay. Maybe in the start you have just a data loss, but maybe after 1 year you will see that there is a chance that somebody can hack it. The identity theft can be a problem. So you will review again and again by monitoring all these situations, and you will update your strategy according to that. Organization should continuously watch for emerging threats, vulnerabilities, and attacks. Continuously, because the technology has improved a lot in all of the area. Artificial intelligence is a part of every software or every hardware nowadays. So we are improving in security, but at the same time, the threats and attacks are also becoming, the intelligent, and it's more vulnerabilities. So we need continuous effort to mitigate all these threats and problems. Is that clear, guys?
Yes, exactly.
So this is the diagram for the same information security process that we discussed. Now you can see The first step is assess risk, develop a strategy, implement controls, and monitor security. So monitor security. So you will find some updates, changes, working fine, not fine. So you will update accordingly your implemented controls. You can also update the develop your security, and maybe you need to update, assess the risk. So this is a process in circle. You can see it's a continuous improvement. Is that clear, guys?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Moving on, we have information security process. The first step, as we discussed, assessing information system risk. So protecting an asset only makes economic sense if the cost of the protecting asset is less than the value of the asset. This is another very important point. So you are protecting your asset like data, but you also need to see the economic factor, budget. So it is not a wise thing that you are securing your asset and you are putting more money than asset. Maybe your asset is about $1 million, and for protecting them you are spending $10 million. So it doesn't make sense, right?
Yes.
So protecting an asset only makes economic sense. So this is your economic sense. Thus, organization perform risk assessment for their system to ensure that IS security program makes sense economically. So there is a risk assessment. So you know what is risk, right? It is a future problem, the problem that you can, even then without air condition, you can manage. So you will accept this risk. Risk transference, having someone else absorb the risk. Other parties may be better equipped to manage the risk. So sometimes you give the risk to other parties, to third parties. You are working in collaboration, you are working in integrated environment, in integration of the system. So you can give this module to other companies, please handle this module, and they will work on it, and they will fix that issue or risk that you are going to face. Because you cannot handle this risk, you don't have capacity, maybe you do not have technical skills, you do not have the funding for that, so you will transfer this risks to other party. Risk avoidance is the last strategy here, using alternate means or not performing tasks that would cause risk. Risk is unmanageable, risk is too high. Your risk is unmanageable and too high, you don't have budget, you don't want to solve that. What would you do? You will leave the task that will create a risk. Is that clear? You will not do the task that will create a risk. This is called risk avoidance.
How can I solve it, Doctor?
You will not solve it. You will, the risk is unmanageable. When you create something or you are doing some task, then there is a chance that you will face risk. For example, you have 4 tasks, task 1, 2, 3, and 4. And task 4 having a risk. So as a manager, what would you do? You will complete the task 1, task number 2, task number 3, but you will leave the task number 4. You will not do. You will not do the task. So you will not do the task, so there will be no risk. Got it?
Okay. Thank you.
This is called risk avoidance. You are avoiding a risk.
Okay, good.
So this is step number 1. Now moving to the step number 2, which is developing a security strategy. Now you know what is risk, how to handle what is risk and how to handle now. So you assess the risk. We have these high risk, we have this low risk. So now we need strategy for that. Once risks are assessed, a strategy should be formulated that details what information system controls in terms of technology, people, and policies should be implemented. For example, we decided that we will make a clone to avoid the data loss. This is your strategy. Okay, so who will do, how we will do this? You need a plan for this. So for that, we have preventive controls here to prevent any potentially negative event from occurring. Okay, for example, data loss can be occur and somebody can steal the data. So you can create some control there, like username, password, authorization, this kind of thing you can involve. You can check the format, correctness of the data. Detective controls to assess whether anything went wrong and to limit damage. Corrective to mitigate the impact of any problem after it has happened. So preventive control is you are making a clone there. Detective control, you will assess whether anything went wrong and to the limit damage. So even then, is there anything that can cause after creating a clone? There's a chance of went wrong or not. There is an alternative solution for this or not. You will assess this thing. And corrective controls that it will really throw an impact. It will really save the loss of data. So in step 2, we are developing a strategy. It is a planning kind of thing. Okay, how many people will be involved in it? What would be the policy? What would be the technology? What would be the tools that we are going to use and how they are going to be implemented? Database administrator will create the control username, password. Detective control will assess that it reaches to the limit. Is there anything wrong? And corrective controls, if there is anything wrong, how to correct that one. Okay, so all controls must be available there. So when a hacker or cracker try to steal this or try to damage your data, so there must be some controls that can come into action and prevent the data. Yeah. So in short summary, in this step, developing a security strategy, you will develop your plan, complete plan. For example, in soccer game, you have a match. So one team can make a plan. 2 players will play as a forward, 5 in the middle, 2 in the end, and 1 will be the goalkeeper. Who would be the captain? Who will play where? Okay, so this is a strategy. They make strategy before playing a match. So same applies here. So before implementing a security, you must provide a plan for that. What are the tools? What are the people? What are the access? What is the policy? Okay, how much data? How to implement the strategy? What is step number 1? What is step number 2? So you must have complete plan for this. Is that clear, guys?
Yes.
Okay. So not all security measures are technically in nature. Managerial activities are also important. Okay, it is not necessary in security the only technical thing are involved, but some managerial activities are also part of that security. Policies and procedures that establish the responsibilities include. So what are the policies and what are the process? What are the procedures? For example, you want to create a clone or you want to save the data loss. So you must follow some policies of your organization. Confidential information policy outlines how sensitive information will be handled, stored, transmitted, and destroyed. There must be a guideline from your organization. Like your password must be 8-digit. Okay, so how many people can use this password? How many people can use this account? How to store the data? How many times we need to create backups? How to transfer the data? How to destroy the data? And we discussed this a lot in the previous chapter, I guess. There must be some policies for this. use policy outlines the organization's policy regarding appropriate use of in-house computer systems, how to use within the organization. May mandate no internet surfing. You cannot use the internet surfing. Maybe this is a policy that you cannot use internet in your office. Use of company computer systems only for employment related purpose, restricted use of social networking and email. So some organizations, they don't allow you to use the social media. You cannot use the Facebook, you cannot use other social media sites in office. So there are the different measures have been taken by the different organizations. So this is your use policy. Is that clear, guys? Are you with me?
Yes, that's clear.
Yes, Doctor.
Okay, next is account management policy. List procedures for adding new user to the system and removing users who have left the organization. Do you know what is the procedure in our university for this account management? You have account, you have created your email address. So what is the procedure here to create a new email address? Anybody know about our university? Did you remember when your email ID has been created in the past?
I think they will give us a unique ID, unique number of ID.
No, I mean, who gave you the email ID? Your email ID? From where you get
The
it?
university.
When you get it? How you get it?
From my academic ID in the first of year.
You have created this?
No.
Okay, so they have created and they have, but when they created, they should have follow some rules and regulations for that. For example, there is a new unit here created in our college, let's say about research unit. And I want an email address for research unit. So there is a system available in e-services. In e-services, you go to ICT center, and there you can create you can give the name and you can send your request, and they will create your request and send you back email address with username and password. So there is a policy. There is a policy of account management policy. This is how they create a new user, and if somebody left the organization, they remove it from the database. Is that clear, guys?
Yes.
So next step is once you have all complete plan, guidelines, policies, you have to implement these controls and training. Sometimes people need training. For example, I am a new user, so I don't know about the PeopleSoft. So you must provide me the session or give me the workshop how to use the PeopleSoft and how to apply the security measures on PeopleSoft. So once comprehensive strategy has been formulated, organizations can decide which controls to implement and train personnel regarding security policies and measures. So we can see the real examples that we are receiving an email, a lot of emails about the security, protect your password from phishing emails. Okay, so these strategies this is the implementation of the strategies. What we have decided in step 2, now we are going to implement, to execute. There are 2 broad safeguards for reducing risk. One is technological safeguard and human-based safeguard. What is the difference between them, technology and human? How do they avoid the risk? Can you give me an example for this?
Human will change his password in daily month.
human based is also be from the physical protection. Sometimes the guards are sitting in front of the data center or network room, nobody can enter there. Physical kind of thing. And secondly, yes, the human can interact with many things by using his brain. Okay, but the technological safeguard is like password protected. You have the different the software based like firewalls. You can use the different software to protect the things. So we need the combination both human and technology. So with this combination we can achieve, or we can avoid or we can mitigate the effect of risk. Commonly used controls to safeguard information system includes like physical access restrictions, like your guards will not allow you to enter to the secure room. Firewalls from software point of view. The technological, you can create firewalls. Encryption data, you can use some technique to encrypt the data, encrypt, decrypt. There's a complete science between them. When you enter the password and you see the static, it is in the form of encrypted. You mask it. So encryption is when you transfer a data, you can change the data so nobody can understand. And on receiving it, only the receiving end, the person at destination can understand this. This is called encryption. Did you get this point, guys?
Yes, Dr.
Maybe you can send a message in general message like hello world. You send a message hello world. Everybody is reading hello world, but hello world means something else, different. Only you know this, and the person who is receiving this hello world message at destination can understand what is the meaning of hello world. This is encrypted. The whole world receive this message as a hello world. They perceive that it means hello world, but actually the meaning is different. So this is encryption. Virus monitoring and prevention mechanism, human controls like managers, the different access level, different authorization level are given. So this is how you can implement, you can ensure the controls. Organization can protect computers and data resources by requiring some form of identification and authentication to authorize the access of the resources by a user. Any question, guys, so far?
No, thank you, Doctor.
You can see this figure.
Yes.
So you can protect your computer by this figure by requiring some form of identification. So what is your ID? And authentication, what is your password? To authorize the access of the resources, and this will give, if it is correct, both are correct, then you will be authorized. So there are three things here: identification, authentication, and authorization. So what is identification? Like your ID, your name, your ID and name. Authentication, that you are given a special password for that. If both are correct, then you will be authorized. The door will be open. Otherwise, not. So this is a very simple technique that every computer laptops have nowadays. Now we have a different type of identification: the thumb recognition, the face recognition, these kind of, also the biometric identification, heartbeat, eye retina. They're using different things nowadays. So what is identification? Is a user claim declaration of being someone. A user identity is normally established using public information like your name. So name can be, so user ID can be same. Sometimes if you're using the name, can be same. But sometimes many organizations are giving you the ID. So ID mostly are unique. But both can be. In our university, we have the ID. So for the students, we use the ID. So ID is a unique. So your identification is unique in our university. But for the teacher, maybe they have the same name, but when they create the email ID, so they give the unique name there. Authentication, as you know, providing the password. It is a private information. It's the process of confirming the identity of a user who is attempting to access a restricted system or a website. It is private, for example, password. So password is used for authentication. It would be the unique information. Is there a chance that the password can be same for two person?
What did you say, doctor?
Yes, doctor.
Password can be same for two person, more than one person?
Yeah.
I think yes.
Yes, because it is a private information. Other person did not know this. Okay, but identification sometimes, you know, can be the same. If they are using the name can be same. Okay, but in your case, for example, the student, so they are using the student ID, which is unique. So identification can, in both ways, can be same or can be different. If they are using the name, it can be same, could be same. So, but authentication is a private information, so no two person can know about the passwords. So this can be same, because it will not be shared. It is a private information. But identification is a public information. Anybody can see that and can use that one also. For example, I know your ID, so I can use your ID. But I don't know about your password. It is authenticated, it's a private information. Maybe many students have same password, but nobody knows because it is private information. So based on the combination of identification and authentication, when you press the enter button, the authorization is provided by the system and grant access to the particular resources. Then you will be given authorization if both ID and authentication is correct. Is that clear, guys?
Yes.
So before we discuss about, we were discussing the fourth step of information security process. The first one is assessing the risk, right? Second one is, what is second one? What is second one?
Education.
See here. First one is assess risk. Second one is develop security. Third one is implement control. And fourth one is monitoring. So we discussed this assessing risk already. Developing security strategy, the second step. Okay. Third one is implementing control. And we are here. So we are right now discussing implementing controls, identification, authentication, and authorization. Now, it's still going on in implementing controls, how you are implementing the security. So what are the different techniques? Authorization, identification, authentication. So authorization can be granted dependent on one or more following. So now for authorization, what is authorization? Can you tell me what is authorization?
that can access to account or website or email.
Yes, when you give the username and password together, then you will be granted if it is correct. This is authorization. So for this, you have a different options here. Something you have like keys, smart cards. You enter the smart card and the door will be open. You enter the thumb, the door will be open. You enter the password and PIN code, door will be open. Biometric, thumb recognition, your eye retina, face recognition, heartbeat, smell recognition. These are biometrics that you people use this for authorization. Did you get this point, guys? You have parking card, smart card, keys. And if you go to the hotel room, in any hotel room, they give you card as a key, smart keys. Right?
Yes.
That is authorization. Or sometimes you use the password, PIN code, like in the labs. If you go in the lab, so there's a password. Okay? Or thumb recognition, the biometric. Is that clear?
Yes, Doctor.
Different options available for you. Method for implementing physical access controls, the biometric, identification via fingerprints, retinal patterns in the eye, facial features or other bodily characteristics as I control. So the biometric includes, what is biometric? Your face, your eyes, thumb recognition, fingerprints, heartbeat. Heartbeat is also unique. And nowadays, many organizations are working on smell recognition. The smell of every person is different. They have different ingredients in that. So this authentication called biometric authentication. Access control software allowing computer user access only to those files related to their work, depending on their access level. Like, in lab, in college, the student cannot save or delete, can save but cannot delete or cannot open all folders. Am I right?
Yes, only their own files.
Yes. So it means there is different level of access. Teacher can do more than students. And the head of department, dean, and the administrator, the network administrator, they can do more than even teacher. So there are different level of access. Did you get this point, guys?
Yes, Doctor.
So this is another method for implementing physical access control. Then firewalls, you are familiar with this. The Windows have usually the firewall. So firewall, what is the purpose of firewall? This is basically stop from unauthorization. The unauthorized access. It will stop it. It will check the username, password, or maybe the first. Sometimes it doesn't allow to install a new software because it is not providing you the complete information. You cannot install on your machine. Your firewall will start giving you the error. Firewall is a part of computer system designed to detect intrusion and prevent unauthorized access to or from private network. Whenever you are trying to connect with private network and you start sharing the file, the firewall will become a hurdle between them. Firewall can be implemented in hardware, in software, or in a combination of both. All data packets entering or leaving the intranet, data usually transfer in the form of frames or in the form of packet. So all data packets entering or leaving the intranet pass through the firewall. Okay, within the organization you have intranet, and if you transfer data from one computer to another computer, so they will pass through the wall, the firewall. And firewall will check, will examine each message and block those that do not meet the specified security criteria. For example, there must be ID or name of the file. If there is no name, it will not allow you to send this file to other computer. Okay? Did you get it, guys?
Yes.
Okay, so next we have we are on step number 3, and we have encryption. As I told you, encryption is that you are changing your message in some other form so that nobody can understand, and on receiving end it will again change back to its original message. So encryption can be used to protect data that are transmitted over the internet. Converting an original message into form that can only be understood by the intended receiver. You know, when military during the war, when they send message, how they send message, have you ever noticed? Or in movies, you know, when the drug dealers or maybe the policeman, when they transmit the information, they transmit in some encoded form. Did you notice this?
Yes.
Okay, so nobody can understand that message, only the receiver have the proper message, can understand the message. Because if you able to receive this message, you know, in army they during the war they send the message just like they use the Alpha Bravo Charlie, Alpha 1 Bravo 2 Charlie Red, or maybe they send a message that the pigeon is coming, and nobody understand what is pigeon is coming. If the enemy knows this message, pigeon is coming, what does it mean? Only the person on the destination can understand. Pigeon means maybe the new people, the more weapon is coming. So this is encryption. You got the concept? Did you get the concept?
Yes, clear, Zafar.
Okay, so when I transmit the data through network, maybe the data looks like 1000101. Okay, so nobody understand what does it mean. So when this data will reach to the destination, they will convert it maybe opposite 0010010. Okay, so there are different techniques are used in encryption. So there's one encryption key, variable value that is applied using an algorithm to set of unencrypted text to produce encrypted text or to decrypt text. So original message here, as you can see on the figure, is hello John. The encryption software or hardware will be used here, and they change the message. Like here, you can see here at the bottom, cipher text, question mark 8AA:7%BX. You can see this?
Yes, doctor.
So this is called cipher text. Now the message is changed. Original message is hello John, and now they change it into this form. And on receiving end, it will reach to the again software or hardware, decryption software or hardware. They will convert it into original form, hello John, and here the person on the destination will receive this message. And between them, nobody can understand what is hello John, what is this message is about. So this is how you perform the encryption. So there are many algorithms that are available for the encryption, many techniques. Is that clear, guys?
Yes.
Yes, clear.
Okay, next we have implementing controls and training. Still we are on this. Human controls and human safeguard. In addition to technological controls, various human safeguards can help to protect information. Especially ethics, laws, and effective management. So these are the things are related with human actually. Your behavior, that you are following the rules and regulations, your management is good. So these factors can also play a role in providing the security. What is the law of your country? Okay. What is the law of your organization? The people that who are working in your organization are following the ethics, behavior, as far as security and privacy is concerned. And is there a management to have a control on all these aspects or not? So these are the things that the related with the human and the training. Of course, your employees must be trained. They must have some skill to manage all these things. So information system ethics relate to the standards of appropriate conduct by users, educating potential user as to what constitute appropriate behavior can help to secure. So you need to educate your people, you need to educate your employees, you need to educate your users so that they can conduct appropriate behavior and can help the security. You know, some people, they don't take serious and they don't have fear, they don't have afraid of anyone, and they can do anything. So this behavior is sometimes create a problem. So there must be some rules and people must be trained and must be provided with guidelines. There are numerous federal and state laws against unauthorized use of networks and computer systems. So every country has its own law, every organization has its own law for unauthorized. If somebody tries, he will be punished, he will be fined, he will be sued, file a lawsuit against him. Effective management that defines appropriate oversight and control over that information and activities can provide strong and robust information system security. So effective management is always important for any component of the business, not only for security, for any. But for security, it will also play a very important role. If you have effective management means that you have a great control and planning, and you have a great continuous improvement process, so that you can continuously observe your problems, you can keep an eye monitoring how the things are going, and you are identifying the problems with the passage of time continuously, and you are improving. So this is called effective management, and this will really help for the security, and a human is related with this one because the human will do the effective management. Okay, and the last slide we have here is about monitoring security. For software effectively protect security, auditors within the organization must monitor and interpret the results. You know, the security guys in university, they are running all the time here and there on the gates. Sometimes they are looking inside the department. So they are monitoring the whole security related situation. So same monitoring security we required inside the organization, inside the department, and also for the information system, the physical and the technological level. The most monitoring effort should be focused on high risk systems. Sometimes, for example, the network room is very important. Server room is very important. All your website. Imagine if your website of university is not working for 3 days. What would happen? All the system will collapse. So there is a high risk because its ERP is there. Students are accessing, employees are accessing. There is a financial data there. If your website is not working, it's going to be a problem. So you need to monitor this one continuously. Organization shouldn't monitor internal events and external events in order to obtain a full view of threat and vulnerability. So it's an ongoing activity and continuous activity. They must see the outside threat and also the inside threat, because threats are, vulnerabilities are always there. It's keep coming. So you need to update yourself with the passage of time. So this is called monitoring security. Is there any question or confusion, guys?